Hi guys, I'm working on my own game today in the sim room in North Wales driving range. I'm working on my backswing today. I've got quite a simple and effective way of practicing my backswing. I'm going to show you how I go about improving my positions at the top and generally backswing as a whole. You really should put this into your own game. It makes learning the backswing much more simple. Obviously, we've got to get into a good position on the way back if we're going to achieve good impact positions. Obviously, if you're looking to get rid of your slice or your hook, improving our backswing position really helps improve those. The reason I practice my backswing is what happens in a fault of mine. When I take the club back, I tend to let the club get a little bit inside, so I lose a little bit of face control. So as I'm coming down, I'm always trying to guess where the face is. So it plays about my time a little bit. Obviously, we want to make a golf swing ideally that relies a lot less on timing, so we can be more consistent. The first thing I do when I'm working on my backswing is I put a club down on the floor, which is for my feet. So I'm going to put my feet right against this club, and this is going to be my reference point to practice certain backswing positions. And say it's really simple drill that I do. So I set up, I've got my feet against the club on the floor, so both feet the same distance from this club. So what I do from there, I'm just practicing with a 6-iron, is I'm looking for a couple of reference points to work towards. We don't have to work and concentrate on getting the club in a certain position at the top. It's nearly impossible to try and concentrate on getting the club in certain positions purely thinking about the top of the swing. If we're correct halfway, then we should be correct at the top. So that's what I'm really working on. So the first part is just the very first, couple of feet of the backswing. So what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to take my hands slightly on the inside but keep the club outside. So hopefully you can see from there my hands are working slightly inside but the club stays outside. And again from side on, again is a very important point is I'm still starting to turn my shoulders immediately as I swing the club back. I'm not just, if you get in there, my shoulders didn't move. As I take the club back, you can see my shoulders starting to rotate there. So first point I practice, just get my hands slightly past my right thigh. My hands are nicely inside, but the club's outside. Now from there, this is why we have the club on the floor, is I set my wrists. So I just put a slight hinge into my wrists. And you'll see the toe of my club is pretty much to the sky. We don't want this position where it's over to the side there. And again, this would be my fault where the toe of the club's turned over too much to the right. So this is why, again, so this would be my club face is really open. So I'm always fighting to save that impact. So first point is I practice this bit. So hands inside, club outside. From there, I set my wrist, so put a slight hinge in. Again, without increasing my turn anymore. So you'll see from the side there, so it's there. I set the club, I'm not turning anymore as I set my wrists. So I just practice this move. So it's 1, 2. And now I check that this matches the club on the floor. Again, it's not in here. That doesn't match, and it's not out there. What I'm looking for is 1, 2, they now match. Now from there, to make sure I get in a good position at the top, all I have to try and make sure I do is continue to turn my shoulders. So I refocus on the ball, and all I'm trying to do is make sure I turn. If I start coming out of posture, then I'll lose the club. Obviously the plane of my swing then will be off. So it's 1, set the club, refocus on the ball, turn my shoulders, and I'll always end up in a pretty good position. It's nearly impossible, as long as you just keep turning, to go wrong. So again, from the side, you'll see it's 1, set the club there, 2, refocus on the ball, just continue to turn. So I hit golf balls this way now. So once I've done that a few times, I hit golf balls in stages. So it's 1, so I'm watching the club, set the club with my wrists, refocus on the ball, just turn and strike. It'll take you quite a few shots before you start making decent contact, but you stick with it. That's the only way to practice and the most simplest way. It certainly makes life much more easier than thinking I'm going to try and get the club in a certain position at the top with my hands, with my arms. Again, if you're correct here on these first 2 points, you're very, very likely to be correct at the top. Again, the reason with people get into poor positions on the top of their backswing is because they're wrong immediately from here. So for example, if I was more inside this way and started to turn, you'll see the club's flat. And again, another one which is common with slicers is they forget to turn their shoulders. So they never turn, they just lift the club into position. You'll see that's steep. So there's no turn at all. So it's a very simple way to practice. So go through that one more time. This is how I actually put it into full motion. So it'd be 1, set my wrist, 2, refocus on the ball, turn and hit. So give that a go, especially if you're looking to improve your backswing, make it that simple. It really is a simple drill. Give it a go and see how you get on.